spent the last 4 minutes talking to myself because when you go live, the settings are automatically configured to be set to unlisted, which means that no one can see it. I do not know why YouTube has decided that, yeah, the most obvious thing that most people are going to want to do when they go live is not have anyone watch it. So I know Susan Wojcicki is not the CEO anymore, thank God. But whoever is the current Susan Wojcicki, if you are watching, your app sucks. You need to change that because it's moronic. But anyway, hello and welcome to another live stream. Now, what I thought we would do today, those of you who have been watching in recent times, although the most recent ones, we've not really been doing them, we have been working on my Italian army project. We've been working on the Grenadiers of the Guard. Now, I recently rediscovered my Italian Guard infantry. So I thought they'd been lost to the sands of time, but they are in fact still present and correct. So what I thought we'd do, hello Ben, what I thought we'd do is we would go through the project and look at what I've got. I'm also, another reason I want to do this is I'm really struggling with my printer. So I'm getting about 50% of the prints that I'm putting on. So I thought what I'll do is I'll rationalize it. I'll see exactly what I need to print, and then I won't print any more than that. Now, for those of you who don't know, the project is made up of piano miniatures. So the whole army I want to be piano miniatures. Hello, Richard. And they are going to be from the 1809, like the Danube campaign, but they're all going to be painted as Italian. So what I thought we'd do is we'd sort out the units, and then we'd have a preview of what the final result is going to be. So these guys are light infantry. Now they should all have the plumed. Oh no, sorry, no. He's a voltigeur, and these guys are just regular light infantry. Now you can tell because he's got the tall plume on, so he could be a grenadier as well. He's also got the epaulets as well. Now they don't have the hussar cut boots. Excuse me. Hello, James. They don't have the hussar boots, but you can tell because they've all got the epaulets on, or he does, because he is an elite company. There's a bit of supports there, so we'll pick them off. Now this guy, you can tell that he's light infantry because he also has the epaulets, but he doesn't have the plume. So he is just a center company. So he is a leger. And they were so yeah, there you go. So what we're looking at is, I'm going to go as per the you can see by the way he's holding the musket. He's an NCO. I'm going to go for these as per getting started videos. So these are going to be battalions of 24 figures. And what I really want to do is I want to have 6 command figures. I want 2, maybe 4 command figures. I want 2 companies of 4 elites. I want 3 companies of center companies, and the command on top of that to make it into 6 companies. So what I want to do is I'm going to basically put them in bases. Now, it's not necessarily these 2 here, for argument's sake, are the same figure. Now, they're all going to go in a bag at the end of it, so it doesn't really matter who goes where, because I'll have to sort the bases out again at a later date. But what I thought is we just go through it, we chat some rubbish, chat some hobby, and we can take it from there. So what is the weather like where you are today? That's how I like to start these things. I am British after all. Here it is overcast today. It was quite sunny at lunchtime. In fact, it was sunny enough that I bought myself an ice cream. I got a 99, keeping with the Italian theme. But yeah, it's gone a bit overcast now. So, balls! I did not want to do that. So I was trying to get this bit off, and I've pulled the whole plume off. What a mistake to make, as the Italians would say. Oh dear, oh dear. Right. I should have done this properly the first time, got some clippers and done it. Now these are all cured now, so that's why I should have used the clippers for it. This guy clearly is the drummer, so I'm going to pop him here. This is how they're going to be set up when they are set up. So put these here. As I say, these are the light infantry. Raining in Tennessee, is it okay? Is that like a good summer rain, or is it like an unseasonal, heavy, horrible rain? We've got an officer there. He's a very nice officer. He's got the nice curved sabre. He's got his, good evening, Alid. He's got his bicorn on, so he's looking good. So he's going to go in with the command group. So we got, that's the first elite company. Then we've got 4 dudes. And we've got 4 more dudes. So I'm going to shuffle these along a little bit. There we are. And we've got the command. Now, for the French, a command of 4 is not too out there, because you only have 1 standard. So it's not necessarily the end of the world to have 4 in there. Let's get this guy. This also is a good opportunity just to do a bit of cleanup as well. So when we find the command to spraying them, we're all good to go. Cole, oh, well, that sucks. That's not what you want at all. I've got a bugler here. I'm going to put to one side for now, because he may end up in the Voltigeur company. It's a good way of adding models to these elite companies. It's just to add the odd command model. So, you know, like an NCO or an officer or something like that. That can be a good way to just bulk them out a little bit. So just pop that there. Now then, what have I got in here? Oh, this box has also got all my epic British in it as well. I forgot about them. I've also got a mounted officer. Now, we did do a video where I changed my FEP sheet. This was the first print post FEP sheet. Everything printed except for his arm. So that was a bit disappointing. However, because it was at the upper arm here, that's going to be a fairly easy fix. I can find a hussar's arm or a chasseur or something like that, and very easily, as you can see, it's quite a flat break there. So I can very easily just get a sword arm and pop that on there, and he's good to go. It's a shame that I've had to do that, but you know, we do what we must. So here again is a guy who seems to be missing his hand. Again, I'm sure I'll be able to secure a spare hand from somewhere. So the print, despite us changing the FEP sheet, the print wasn't 100% successful, but I did manage to get about 30 figures out of it. So it wasn't completely disastrous either. Sorry, I'm just picking up all the loose ones. There we go. What's in there? That's Italians as well. Interesting. And there's another plume that's come off. Oh dear. Right. Now, I do have some takeaway boxes, so I'm probably going to put these in them just to keep them a little bit more secure. So I've got 1 base, 2 base, 3 bases, 4 bases. I need 6 bases to a battalion. So I've got a another Voltigeur or Grenadier there. Another Fusilier. You know, I'm sure someone in the chat knows this. I don't know what the rank of a private soldier in the light infantry was. So it was Fusilier in the line. Was it a Leger or something like that? I'm not really sure. So, Sonny in Grimsby. That's not a sentence that I often get to say. So that's that's good to hear, Steve. So there we are. There is another dude. Now what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take this officer out, and I'm going to put in the mounted officer. Now I often, this is looking at it from above, obviously, I will often have a command base of 4 models. Ooh, and it'll be configured like so. So this basically takes up the room of 2 models, and this fills out the base. Now I'm probably going to do bases of 6 actually. So we'll see how that ends up. Now, I've got an extra Grenadier there, haven't I? So we'll swap him out for a Fusilier. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. He counts as 2. 18, 20, 22, 24. So that's a battalion right there. I've got an NCO with it. I've got the officer mounted, drummer, standard bearer. I better give him his drum, hadn't I? So that's 1 battalion. Jobs are good. Let me get the box. Ugh. So, a nice takeaway box. Now, this is not a washed out takeaway box. I bought these from B&M. And then on the front, we've got Italian First Light. infantry. We pop all these in here. Now there is also a standard there as well. Now that's obviously not an eagle. These guys will have an eagle, but that one's useful if I do the 2nd battalion. So, Glenn, these are, well, they're really French infantry. They're mid-war French, so they are 1809 for the Danube campaign. They are from Piano Miniatures, so these are the models that I've been printing, and they are going to formulate my new army. So that's going to be 24 figs, including mounted command. So there we are, job's good one. Pop those to one side, and we'll repeat the process again. Now, these guys, I believe, are line. Now, I've got a couple of plumes there, so I'm going to pop them to one side, because it means that I can use those on other figures with epaulets. So I can use them on just regular line troopers, or light line infantry, and we are good to go. Now, this one seems to have had a couple of officers mixed in with it, so that's a bit fun. So we've got Marshal General Dorsen there, I think, and I'm not sure who that one is. Let me have a look. Let me get the old doobie up. Piano Miniatures. Well, I type in Piano Man by Billy Joel comes up. So I mean, it has great taste in music, but not what I'm after at the moment. So let's have a look. Incidentally, I've just gone on to the Piano Miniatures website, and the figures are absolutely superb. I know they're painted by the guy who's just painted some other figures. Actually, is it Stephen Halber? Is it? I think. But what a painter! Absolutely stunning. Yeah, if I could paint my figures a tenth as good as these, then I'd probably do it professionally. Let's have a look. Why can I not find them? Maybe I'm looking in the wrong period. I don't think I am. This is really good radio as well. I'm aware of this. Maybe they're not out in metal yet. Maybe that's the problem. Here we are. I did manage to print LaSalle. He managed to come out in the print, so that's the most important thing. French Mounted Guard Command Dorsen. Right, okay. Now are these all Dorsen? Or what? I don't know. But we've got I mean they're not going to be. They can be what's the Italian Guard guy's name? Is it like Fibonacci or something like that? That's not Fibonacci. I know he's a mathematician. But so they're all good to go. I need to get some horses for them, I think. But we can crack on with looking at the next line regiment. I think you should do a start to finish live stream to get them done. Yeah, I would absolutely love to, mate. Maybe in the next bank holiday, perhaps. I've just I had booked the day after the bank holiday off as well, so I was thinking of doing it then, but I've had to row back on that because my colleague wanted the day off. So being a what's the word? A good workmate, I'll let him have the day off. So we've got officer, drummer. Now this, I've also got a sapper here. Now, the sapper, I said earlier on, you can get away with just having a 4-man command group. And that is another reason you can get away with that is because the sapper wouldn't necessarily be with the battalion command group. In fact, he would almost certainly not be. He would be with the headquarter company of the Grenadier Company. Or in this case, the Carabineers. Well, actually, no, these are just a line regiment, aren't they? So that's fine. So yeah, so these guys will be with the Grenadiers. So let me see, what are we looking at? They're looking upwards. That's the left of the battalion. This is the right. So we'll bung him on the right. Okie dokie. So we've got him there. We've got another chap here. Now he's not got any epaulets on. He does have the plume on his shako, so I'm not entirely certain of his status. He could be that he's in campaign dress. He's taken his epaulets off, but I would have thought he would have taken his plume off as well, if that were the case. So I'm not 100% sure, but we'll just clean this guy up. I was also looking at the Perry's Spanish range today for a quick hint at what might be coming this weekend. So the thing I was thinking was, and I actually answered this in a comment someone left on the channel the other day. A while ago now, I did a video on the top 5 plastic sets we need to see next. We had French Light Infantry was number 1. What was a Plastic Janus series? I remember being an also ran. So because I didn't think that would be economically viable, but that was my own personal tastes. I think we had guerrillas, like armed civilians, was in there. So what? I certainly know that European heavy cavalry was in there. So what would be your next plastic box set? What's the plastic box set you guys would like to see most? For me now, it is civilian fighters. So that could be anything from guerrillas to Tyrol Revolt to the Vendées. Yeah, I'm not sure how you could get all those in the sprue, but I'm sure Wargames Atlantic could manage it. So what would be your choice? What would be you like to see next in plastic? Cossack, that's a good one, because that would be really useful for a whole bunch of periods as well. So now all of these guys seem to have plumes on, so I wonder if this is a light. This can't be another light infantry battalion, surely. Let's have a look. Let's have a look in the book. Oh, they're Young Guard, right? Okay, so these are the French Young Guard. Now these guys are probably gonna be Young Guard, actually. One of my favourite battles, as some of you may know, is Aspern-Essling. For Aspern-Essling, we need 8 battalions of Young Guards. So these guys have got that covered and then some. So let's have a look at how we're doing for Young Guard. Who's this guy? He's quite cool. I think he's an artilleryman. Looking at his carrot-shaped plume, he's artillery. So we pop him up there. The other way you can tell they're Young Guard, now I know they're Young Guard, is to look at their cuffs. The fact that their cuffs are pointed makes them Young Guard. So again, if you're painting them yourself, you can just paint sort of regular line infantry as Young Guard if you want to. And one of the things you can do is shave off the epaulets and then just paint them on in a V shape. Is probably what I would do. Now I'm going to separate out the officers and NCOs and drummers. So I'm going to put my artilleryman over there. And then what we can do is we can just pluck an officer out, and then we're good to go with our command group. So there's another sapper. You go over there. I think I must have printed this plate twice. This is probably on my old printer. Rip my old printer. It did great service before the mast. That's still a little bit. It feels a little bit soft, that one. Well, it turns out that most of it, it's all officers. Now, having Young Guard officers scattered through your other regiments wouldn't necessarily be a terrible idea. The Young Guard tended not to rotate their officers through. That was more of an old guard thing. But it certainly wouldn't have been unknown for an officer to move from the Young Guard to a line regiment. Needs of the service and all that kind of stuff. So we're just piling these on there. So we've got Elite Company, 1, 2, 3 for that one. We may have to sacrifice you in there. So we've got 3 bases worth there. Now this one I'm actually probably going to do in 36s. So one thing I am going to check is, did the Young Guard have elite companies, or were they all considered to be elite? That would be L question, wouldn't it? There's nothing on here for elite companies, so I'm going to say no. Right, so how are we doing so far? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So I need another 4 Young Guard for that unit. Now I could put in another officer or another NCO. I don't have any NCOs yet, so let's grab an NCO. There we go. You can pop in there. I'm still going to need 3 more though. I've got a couple of drummers there. I mean, I could put an extra drummer in. I am well known for my love of musician models, but as it is, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave them there, and we'll come back to them. So this one here will go back in the bag with a note on saying Young Guard. Now, they could, of course, be the Italian Young Guard as well. But for now, I'm just going to have these guys as French Young Guard. I've got, sorry, what have I got? I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 21. There's 21, including command. Again, I could have pushed that to 22 by putting a mounted officer in there. This guy, he might find his way in there, or possibly even this chap here. That's Dorsen before he was a general, clearly. But I don't have a horse for them at the moment, so that's why they're just going to go in there, like so. Now, for cavalry, Piano Miniatures obviously do files for dragoons, hussars, chasseurs, he says. Not entirely convinced. Incidentally, the hussars are absolutely out. He does do Craziers, yeah. And Chasseur à Cheval Elite, so you could probably use those as Chasseur à Cheval de Garde if you wanted to. Those of you who've seen the last battle report, you can see how much you need some Chasseur à Cheval de Garde in your life. So I'm sure Dan would agree. I'll pop these in there. Now what I could do is I've got these 2 spare plumes that have snapped off, so I could potentially give those to line troopers, and we can make some more Young Guard. But for now, we'll pop them in there. We'll come back if we need to. So what suggestions have we got for plastic box sets then? Second, the Cossacks, Nap specific. I like to do some sort of minor states kit that adds some versatility. That would be cool, yeah. If you had like, I mean, even if it was like an imagination set, so you could have, say, Austrian uniforms, but in there you have heads that are Austrian or Württemberg or Bavarian or like Russian, something like that would be cool. I have a good amount of Peri-Austrian line. What's the best way to differentiate Grenzer to regulars, or is it just the colour? So for me, I would. So all my Germans have helmets. Yeah, giggity. Yes, all my German troops have the helmet that you would find from Austerlitz, and that for me is just a thing. So they have the helmets. The Hungarians have the Shakos. In 1809, there was a bit of a crossover between the Shakos and the helmets. So I think that's just the best way of differentiating them. And with the Austrian, with the Grenzer, I would probably do the same thing. Now, Victrix actually do sell a set of Grenzer, so I think that's probably the best way to go, is just to buy a box of Victrix ones. So he's missing his plume, so he can go in there. Now these are more leger, as you can see. They're all they've all got the epaulets on them. This here looks important. I don't know what it is, but let's find out together. So, oh, yes, I can see what it is. Now, one of the other problems with this new printer is the prints on there. They need to be like dynamited off. Now, this is probably using my old printer, but you can see even here chunks have come out of the puddles that they stand on. So he's missing a plume as well. Quite a lot of these are missing plumes, actually. So these may end up being something else. Yeah, they've all got the epaulets, so they're all elites, but they don't seem to have their plumes. Now, again, you know, it's not necessarily the end of the world. I am 90% sure that the vast majority of the time, troops would not be wearing their plumes in combat. I mean, this guy's come off his base entirely. Troops would not be wearing their plumes in combat. I like to have them looking their best. If they guard or something like that, then they probably would. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. But even at like Dresden, where the weather was terrible, even the Russian Guard didn't wear their full dress uniform for that, and the Russian Guard would wear their dress uniform almost anywhere. So I just goes to show how bad it really was. Right, so what have we got here then? We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So I had some left over. Now, again, I've not really sorted out a command group here. Now this guy with the feet, we've got plenty left over, so he can come out. He can go in. Hello, John. I'm not sure about that. I hope your dice skills return on. Well, they certainly did at the weekend at the Lord of the Rings event. That's for sure. I've got an NCO in there, so that's cool. Then I've got one drummer, so with no drum. So there you go. That's his drum. I need to pop an officer in there. So there's an Ossifuran. Now he is a Young Guard officer, I think. Yes, he is. Let's see if I've got a non-Young Guard officer here. He's Young Guard as well. Again, it's not necessarily the end of the world if they are. All right, this chap here. Yeah, he's Young Guard, but I don't care. He's going in. So that's those ones. And then I've got a standard bearer who needs to go in. That will be you. You're in there. So I've also got room for a sapper. So that's an NCO. So I'm going to keep the NCO in. I'm going to take this dude out. Sapper goes in. There we are. So another 24 figures with their attendant command. Now I actually only brought up one box with me, so that was a bit silly, wasn't it? I don't think we get through them this quickly, but let me pop them here for now, and then when the lights go off and I'm left in the studio on my own, I can box them up then. Now these you can see I've already sprayed, so these are ready to go. They're going to need a little bit of cleanup on the bottom, because when I like to paint them and then stand the figure up, because I find that helps the wash run properly and things like that. So I'm going to need to clean up their bases before I paint them. But they're going to be very nice. That officer is absolutely fantastic. Really, really nice. Really animated. He's got the greatcoat rolled over his body. Yeah, no, he's absolutely lovely. A really, really nice figure. Again, I cannot rate these piano miniatures enough. I know I keep rimming Lucas, but honestly, I genuinely think he is the future of Napoleonic Wargaming. At 28 mil. At 28 mil. I don't think there's anyone out there that are as good as him. And I include the Perrys in that. Price-wise, let me have a look. So price-wise, I tend to look at the STLs. So that's my bad. And I tend to do the Kickstarters, which are wince-inducing, I'm not going to lie. But what you get for the money is worth it. So it's a lot of money, but you get a lot of stuff. So, you know, that's fair enough. He charges £10.50 for a pack of infantry, £14 for a pack of cavalry. So he is more expensive than the Perrys. That's £1 more for infantry and £4 more for cavalry. What are we looking at for artillery? £4 more for artillery as well. So it is more. There is a possibility you're going to have to pay like extra shipping for the UK from Europe and stuff like that. However, they are absolutely superb. They really, really are. Cannot recommend them enough. It's one of those things, you know, you have to pay for quality, unfortunately. Now, one thing I will say is they are a lot more than if you were to buy them in plastic, of course. So that's where the difference there is. My recommendation would be, and it's something that I do in a lot of my getting started videos, if you take the French Empire, perfect example, buy your infantry from Warlord, buy them from the Perrys, whatever, and your characters, your special troops. If you like cuirassiers, treat yourself to a regiment from pianos, like that. But for your bulk troops, yep, get the plastics, get the Perrys, that's great. But I really, really do think that they are worth the extra £1 for 6 models, which is what? If you get a battalion of 24, that's an extra £4. I don't think that's too much to spend. I mean, it's easy for me to say. £4 is a lot of money to a lot of people, and I'm not suggesting that it isn't. But for me, it is well worth the extra. Right, so that's some infantry. Now we've got all these bits left over here, so I'm just going to push them to one side, because next to come out of my bag of tricks is a bag of horsies. Now, let's see what these are from. These are from, well, certainly French. You can tell they're French because I have the sheepskin saddlecloth or shabrack. And it's got what's these triangles around the side. They're called wolf's teeth. So, yeah, that's definitely French. You can also tell that it's French heavy cavalry because it's got this squared off horse blanket. That's not the name for it. It's got a fancy name. But, yeah, so this one is either for dragoons or cuirassiers. Now, I suspect that it'll be for dragoons because I didn't even know they did cuirassiers. So, I'm going to have a unit of 8. We're going with the unit sizes that I recommend in the Getting Started videos. So here we go. There's 12 horses there. So that's obviously a full-size regiment for my French. That's absolutely fine. This guy here, you can see he's not got a sheepskin. He's got this like weird ribbed, like mini horse saddlecloth. That means he's an officer's horse. Now, one of the good things about these in particular is how animated they are. If you look from above, you can see that the reins are over here. Now, anyone who's seen Reconquer Designs figures, their cavalry in particular, are super animated, which looks great, but one of the problems is it means you can't mirror them. Now, this is another hidden benefit of printing. So let's take, for example, this horse here. So we've got this horse and this horse. They're the same sculpt, as you can see from above. The horse's head's moving slightly to the right. The tail slightly to the right as well. The right front leg is forward. The left front leg is back. Now, with the printer, I can mirror this. So it would be, his head would be facing that way. The tail would be that way. And the left leg will be forward. The right leg bent like that. So it's a way that you can get, for argument's sake, there are 4 horse sculpts. That's a way that you can get 8 different horse sculpts out of one file. Now, I'm also looking here as well. This one has a grenade on it. So that's obviously, oh, there's also a bit of 30k Terminator in there as well. So I've got 1, 2. That's got a grenade in it as well. So let's move these around. 1. Yeah, so I've got 2 with grenades. Now that's fine, because I'm only having an 8-man unit. So that's cool. Got officer, standard bearer, trumpeter, friend. So I only want to be 4 wide, don't I? So the elites should be at the back. And then we've got those ones there like that. So that's cool. We've got 4 left over. So I'll pop them to one side. Now, you could potentially use these as infantry horses, but the arm doesn't quite match up to where the reins are, and an infantry officer wouldn't have this on the back. So you can so yeah, you could, but I wouldn't. I would probably look for, if I've clearly got the file for the horses somewhere, but not got them with me. So this is no longer 1809 Leger. Now the horses are a lot more robust than the infantry, so these guys are going to be okay in the bag. These are heavy cav horses, including officer. There we go. So let's get these packed into the bag. So at the moment, I've got 2 regiments of line infantry. Well, I've got 1 regiment of light infantry, 1 regiment of line. I've got a unit of heavy cav. What else have we got in my bag? I've got this set here. Now, this is something that Piano have experimented with. This is a battalion of guys with separate heads. So the heads come on here. Now, this I'm a big fan of, well, so it's complicated. I'm a big fan of separate heads. I'm also a big fan of not having to build models. So those two are obviously incompatible. So I have to decide what mood I'm in at the time. So we've got these guys here. Now what I like is there's the option. So you can either get the ones with the heads that you glue on separately, or you can get the ones that we've already seen, like these guys, who've got the heads attached. So, you know, you've got the options there. Now let's just see what we've got here. Now these I would tend to paint the heads separately. So I leave the heads on these little sprues, paint them on there. I'd probably spray, well, these days I'd probably spray them like a bone colour. Paint the shakos black, paint the faces with Gilliman flesh, and then jobs are good. Pick out the lozenge on the shako, and we're good to go. So we've got 5, 6 there. You can see that his foot has seen better days, so I'll pop him to one side for now. Same with this guy. Now this guy here, he has seen better days altogether. His musket is missing, so we'll put him to one side permanently, I think. Heads wise, I've got 6, 11, 17, 22, so I'm a little short there. Let's see what we've got. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 13 there. So I've actually got more heads than I do bodies at the moment. Now, there's not really much to say about these guys. There's not a full battalion in there. I'm clearly going to have to paint some more of that. So that's going to be French line times 13. No. Command. So, yeah, I mean, it is useful doing a review of the troops as you're going. Now, what I should do really, in fact, I will do, is a need to buy / print. So that is, so I've got 13 in there. So I'm going to need to do another, well, if we take the command out, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do the command as in addition. So French line, SEP heads times 11. Do I use the miscast as zombies? I could do, couldn't I? Yeah, absolutely. So I have used them. I had a cannon that didn't print properly, and I put it on the base with Van Damme. So the idea was to show that the chips were down, and Van Damme had rode up to take command. So yeah, no, you certainly can use bits that are misprints and things like that if you're creative with them. As I say the officer whose arm didn't print properly, he's going to be a very easy fix. So I'm not too concerned about that at all. Now this here looks to me to be a bag of officers and NCOs, including something a little bit special. A little bit special. Bit Stephen Lynch for you there. I went to see him in London. He was outrageous. So now these are officers' horses. We said before they've not got the sheepskin on. And they've also got these two like covers here. They're actually flaps that they're like pockets basically. And this, I believe, is for this guy here, who you may have seen on the cover of Absolute Emperor, because that's exactly what that model looks like. So he'll go on. Now his hand will match some reins. So which ones will it be? It'll be these ones here. Now you saw there that was quite a tight fit. Here's another tip for you printers out there. I tend to make my horses 0.5% smaller. You can't really notice it, but the idea there is it just helps the man go on to the horse a bit easier. You could make the man 0.5% larger, I suppose. 30k Terminators, they fight for a different absolutely. So we've got another officer leading the troops here. Now his hand, yeah, there you go. See, his hand matches up with that one quite nicely. I suspect his hand will match up with that officer's horse with the dragoons as well, but his coattails won't. So he goes in there, and I saw an ADC. Here we are. The ADC goes there as well. Does he go on there? No, he doesn't go on there, does he? Oh, excuse me. No, he does not look like he goes on there. You see, there's a big gap between his hand and the rein there. I wouldn't expect that on one of these models, I have to say. I don't think he goes in there either. No, I don't think I've printed this guy's horse off, you know. So that's fine, though. He'll go in there. He'll be a good infantry commander. How about this guy? Does he go on there? His hands across his chest. So he might go on there. Oh, he's a bit wavery there. So now again, there's a huge gap unless he leans super forward on his horse, which he could do. I mean, that is a potential. I don't think he does though. Let's get those supports off. And again, we've got some more drummers and some bits. So what I think I'm going to do actually is I think I'm going to have a spare command box. And then I can just dive in there. We can grab some more commands out. Now, this guy's foot's missing. I wonder if that's where that spare foot familiar came from. But I'll pop him to one side for now. So, yeah, we've got another bugler. The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B. You can go in there. Who's this dude? He's a bugler. Well, he's got the horn. So this is going to be officers and NCOs. They're going to be in my super special box over here. So it looks like that's what this was a bag of. There's another drummer. Yeah, more NCOs. Lovely stuff. Now these officers, however, the mounted ones, I will pop in here for now. But I wonder if his rider didn't print properly. That'll be interesting to find out. I suspect that's probably what's happened. So I'll pop these spare heavy cav in here as well. Now, to be honest, I really didn't know what I've printed and what I haven't. That's some casualties in there. I'm not going to mess around with them. We know what they are. So they are Italian casualties. So we've got some more dudes with no heads here. So I put on the other thing we needed to print 11 of them. I'll put those to one side for now. I'll count those later. Well, we've got Dark Angel veterans. Right, okay. Now these aren't looking like Dark Angel's veterans to me. Which is a shame because that's what I really, really need to be working on. I've got a big 30k game coming up. Or weekend coming up soon. Some of the guys are coming up from Woking where I used to live. So I need to do a good job and get my Dark Angels ready for that. Now this is, again, loads of officers. Is actually, you can see here, the ADC who's handing out some orders. It looks like he's got no hand. He does, but it looks like he doesn't. Now this one's a bit better because this one has got horses with it. So let's see what we got. Quite a few generals' horses. I'm going to move this one over here. So what do we have? And where's LaSalle as well? I'm sure I've printed him. So first things first, we have this chap here. This is Marshal Berthier, I believe. Let's have a look. Or is he just a general of the brigade? No, he's not a general of the brigade. I think it's Berthier. It is, yes. So that's General Berthier, and he goes on, looks like a horse that's looking over to the left. So possibly not that one. Not that one. There we go. So he goes on that one there. That's cool. This one here is not Berthier. This one is General. I'm not sure who he is actually. Let's have a look. He is. Oh, that's Marshal Land. Okay, so I've got him downstairs with his leg blown off. So he goes on here. Bezier, best marshal. I don't know. Because I think we are, or Berthier, sorry. Because I think we're going to see someone who people may disagree with you. I actually think Berthier was probably the best one. They say, was it that amateurs study tactics, professionals study logistics, or something like that is the term. But yeah, Berthier's just boring, isn't he? I mean, like, who wants to have a marshal who begs the emperor to come and take over? I'm like, that is not what I'm. That is not what I'm after when it comes to my martial action. This guy, he looks a bit like Ney, actually, or Su. I don't think it's Sula. I don't think he's done him yet. I'm just clicking through the website again. I know this is absolutely fantastic telly. Oh, here we are. This one is General de Division Saint-Hilaire. Now he is definitely on my list of underrated generals who would have been a good marshal. These two together, what an absolutely gorgeous vignette this is. Let's see those two together. Absolutely superb. Now, unfortunately, the camera's not focusing on him. As you can see, my laptop in the background, I am looking at the piano miniatures. The Mongolian camel dwarf video, that's in the background, so you don't need to worry about that one. But so that's them. Now, most importantly of all, now as I said earlier on, I'm not. Sometimes I like separate heads, sometimes I don't. Who's this cheeky boy? We all know who this cheeky boy is. Actually, no, it's not. It's not Van Damme. Who's this one then? That's the Van Damme power stance. Who is daring to copy the Van Damme power stance? I'm shooked. I'm shook. God damn it. Let's see who it was. Let's see if he deserves to do the Van Damme power stance. It is someone I can't find at the moment. He's a lucky boy, whoever he is. But this one here, this is, I think, one of the best things that Lucas has ever done. Genuinely. This is a French marshal with no head. Now, one of the best things that he's done is not to put a support right in the middle of his neck there. That's going to be a real pay. Oh, no, it's popped out. That's good. So he's got a Marshal Berthier. You're not going to be able to see this on the camera because my camera's dog. But he's got Marshal Berthier, no glasses. Marshal Berthier avec glasses. Sorry, Davo. It's not Berthier, it's Davo. The Iron Marshal. So he's got him with glasses, without glasses. Now, I'm obviously going to have to give him the glasses. But that's absolutely awesome. You can have him either or. Because he didn't necessarily like to wear them. So that's my high command set. I'm going to pop those into another box as well. Right, now, I'm not even really halfway through sorting all my my stuff out. I've got all these to come yet, but including, well, I'll tell you what, actually, before I go, what have we got? What have we got? We got music. Right, now, one thing that I do have here, these aren't really for my Italians, but I've got this guy here who is who's this? Who is this? Now, this is not a piano miniature. As you can see, it is also not printed brilliantly either. So I'm gonna have to do some serious sorting out of this model. There. This is your boy Eugene. So this is Eugene. He's going to be my overall commander. Despite the fact it looks like he's riding a pit pony, I'm not really sure why that's so small. And these guys here are from Wargames Atlantic. Now, it's the same model twice, actually. This is anyone who's seen the video on collecting the Revolutionary French. This is from Wargames Atlantic, and it is a representative on mission. So it could be like Danton or Robespierre or something like that. But no, this is a representative on mission. So he is to go on a base with a young General Bonaparte. But the last thing I wanted to go through, what we're on now, is 3 minutes to. So I'm going to have to wrap it up, I'm afraid. What did I just do with that bag? What did I do with it? Here we are. These, mon ami, are the French, and in this case Italian, dragoons. Now these are absolutely superb. I'm even getting into the language. Cara mia. That's Spanish. That's Spanish, isn't it? So he's actually got an epaulet on, so he's not going to fit properly. But these guys, you either get them at rest or you get them charging. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. These models. I cannot wait to get these painted. They will, of course, have pink facings because that is tradition. I've got a really nicely printed eagle. I'm going to have to cut these knobs off, but that's fine. I'm trying to find the officer. Where is he? Is this him there? Yeah, I think this is him there. So the officer is doing his sword up in the air. This is another one. Sword up in the air like he just don't care. He might be the bugler, actually. So he's bugling off to the side so it doesn't go in these commanding officer's ear. An absolutely gorgeous set of models. I cannot wait to get these painted up. That's just a little bit of damage on his visor there. Try and clean them up before you cure them would be my advice. But no, these are absolutely gorgeous. These are going to be really nicely animated. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The martial uniforms are really, really nice. As I say, I'm trying to paint this vampire French general, and he's a bloody nightmare. He's got too much detail on him. But there you go. So this is just a start of what we've got to look forward to over the summer. And I say we, I mean me. No, I'll be doing a lot of these on stream. I've got some more stuff here. Need to sort out. But this is the Italians. Hopefully they're going to be ready for Under Eagles to Glory next year. So yeah, make sure you keep an eye out for the dates for that. I'm thinking Under Eagles to Glory. I've had a few questions about when it's going to be. I was waiting for Hammerhead to announce their dates, but I think I'm going to forget that. I think we're going to do the 7th and 8th of March. So pencil that into your diaries for now. Don't pen it in, but pencil it in. Under Eagles to Glory 3, I think, is going to be the 7th and 8th of March. And that'll be at Boards and Swords in Derby again. Well, I just want to say thank you very much for joining me for this rather weird sort through. I've been a bit discombobulated this week, and I thought, you know what I need to do? I need to sit down, I need to have a good sort. Rather than just painting stuff mindlessly, I need to sort out exactly what I've got, exactly what I need. And it looks like I don't actually have as many infantry as I thought I did. I thought I had about 6 or 7 battalions of infantry printed, and I don't. So I'm obviously going to have to go hardcore on the infantry printing. But thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed me rambling on for the last hour. But I hope to see you guys next time. This Sunday, a sneak preview. Get your paella ready and some nice... no, Chianti's Italian, isn't it? What's the wine there? Rioja, there you go. Get your Rioja and your paellas ready, because I think we're going to be heading to sunny Spain. But thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.